So let's talk about the benefits of being a quitter. You know, I think we've talked about the negativity. What's the positive on being a quitter? We're not saying quit on your dreams, obviously. We're not saying quit on your job. What are we saying to quit, and what are the benefits of quitting?
Absolutely. We want you to quit the stuff so that you can get to your dreams.
The fluff.
Yeah.
All the things that take away. Yes.
There's another book, too, that talks about this, and it's called, I believe it's by Jim Collins, and it's called Good to Great. And it's an empirical study of Fortune 500 businesses like Coca-Cola, General Electric, Apple, Microsoft. What is it with these companies? Most of them aren't truly innovative. They were doing things that other people wanted to do. But what is it about them? What is it about a person like Steve Jobs that made them Steve Jobs? And this is what the research said. They were willing to let go of good to make room for great. I mean, at a certain point, Apple had to let go of some stuff to go, no, we are iPods. We are now iPhones. We're not trying to do this. You know, this is what we are. And we know it. Chick-fil-A only makes one thing well, and that's chicken. They don't try to do hamburgers. They do one thing, and they do that one thing better than anyone else in the world. And so as we go through these and we talk about quitting, I hope people know we're not just talking about quitting the fluff. We're also talking about you got to quit some things that you're good at. You got to quit some things that you excel at. But you got to let go of good to achieve great. If you're trying to do 5 good things, you never get to the one great place. Number 1 is improved health. I think health matters. Coming out of the pandemic, people are stressed out. We know anxiety has become an issue because people are just trying to do too much. You know, there's improved health. Example, quit smoking. I mean, a lot of people, you're handling your stress by smoking. Quit that crap. You can get rid of chronic diseases and stuff like that by just quit sitting down all the time. Maybe you got to quit some of your Netflix habit, but you can quit some things to improve your health. Quit eating out so much. It takes some time away from your family. It takes money, and that sugar's killing you. So, I mean, that's the first thing is becoming a quitter can improve your health. Number 2, increase productivity. I mean, if you quit distractions, here we go. I'm going to pick on myself. Sometimes you got to quit some social media and some video games to be more productive. I mean, people sometimes talk about mine and your, like our Brodacious Life social media Instagram page, and we'll do about 1 or 2 posts, sometimes as much as 4 on the Instagram page during the week, but now it's not 20 because we're trying to lead by example. It's like, no, this Brodacious Life is faith, family, freedom, finance, fun, family, not social media. That's an S, you know, so like, there's no S sneaking in our Fs. So we're going to post for you, but at the same time, we're modeling positive behaviors. But I mean, increased productivity, you know, and number 3, which plays along with that, is a benefit of quitting is reduced stress because you're quitting behaviors that are really, you know, when you quit things that just help you kind of cope, it hurts. There's some pain in that. At a certain
lot of coping in the food industry. There's a lot of coping in the food industry.
Seriously, I mean, people a lot of folks want to live a brodacious life, but they're jumping to alcoholism because it's coping. And we got nothing with drinking. I mean, God knows I drink a beer. I mean, I drink a beer or 2 a week, you know, but it's not a beer or 2 a day. It's a beer or 2 a week. And it's like, because it's not the coping mechanism of the whole thing. And it's just, you got to move forward. You got to let go of some good things. I love a beer with the boys, but sometimes I got to let go of good to make room for great, which is success and happiness with my family. And you got to let go of that stuff to get to the next place. And then and then we'll talk a little about this, is better relationships. That's a big thing. Your relationships with your family, your faith, your friends, your relationships will be better if you quit the things that don't get you, that aren't ready to propel you. You got to quit some of those things.
I think you also have relationships that aren't going to propel you. And this is something that's been very hard for me. I've had friends that I was just buddy with. I wanted to go to the end of the moon for, and worked on projects with them. But are they helping me develop myself into the next thing that I want to be? And that's very hard because I love those guys. Like, I was working on a podcast, and I love those dudes. Those are great. I was having a lot of fun doing it. But what was important to me wasn't necessarily important to them. And overall, we weren't working towards the same goal. it had kind of turned into those guys, you know, drinking beers and kind of some foul language and just kind of good old boy fun. And then I'm wanting to do something else. I'm wanting to create upper echelon content. At the end of the day, it was really tough, but I kind of had to, I hate to say cut ties. I mean, I'm still friends with them, but I had to cut off that podcast, and I kind of bowed myself out and wished them well. And I still help out occasionally where I'll, you know, come be a guest, but I don't do the week to week relationship because I wasn't benefiting emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually from that relationship.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean,
I still love those guys, but I overall was not benefiting from that relationship.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I love you guys, I love you girls. We know we're friends. We're just headed in two different directions, and one's not better than the other. In fact, I'm going to go over here. Exactly. I have a different road path that I need to take to. I'm playing a different game. I'm playing baseball today, and you're playing football. Both are professional sports. Both gets the huge amounts of success. But and I'm going to cheer you on as you play your sport. But I recognize, like Deion Sanders, as much as I want to be a football player, I am a baseball player. Or in his case, as much as I'm a baseball player, maybe because he's coaching football, you know, maybe I'm a football player. You know, Michael Jordan. You can't do baseball and basketball. He was a horrible baseball player, but there's no denying he was the greatest that ever played basketball. So, you know,
right.
I absolutely. And, you know, that kind of gets us to our next one, which is when you quit the things that you need to quit to get to the next place, you know, you have increased self-esteem. And the number 6 one is financial savings. I mean, increase self-esteem and you're in a better financial position. Increase self-esteem because you're with individuals that are playing the same sport. You know, if you're sitting around with 9 guys and they're all playing different sports, you got some stuff to talk about in the short term. But somebody that plays football is not going to make you a better hockey player. They can give you some tips to make you a better athlete, but they're not going to take you to that pro level. You need to hang out with professional hockey players while also being friends and still appreciating other people on their own paths. And then the financial savings. How many times are we trying to spend money on a bunch of good things? They're all good things. There's nothing wrong with these things. By the way, let me give you a good example. Sometimes I think people are trying to donate to every charity. You know, it's Christmas time. Do you want to donate round up to the McDonald house? Sure. Swipe. Your church. Do you want to give to this offering, that offering, that offering? Swipe. And if you're not careful, what ends up happening is you gave $20 here, $50 here, but you missed out on the fact that if you had combined all that through the year and made one singular $15,000 donation to a single charity, you would reach more people, you'd have a greater impact for the kingdom of God, and you could do way more, same amount of money, but maximum impact, razor defined. You can buy a couple kids lunch, or you can buy keyboards for an entire classroom for a music ministry that's ministering to kids with music. And I think sometimes people don't understand that the financial savings is where you can have impact and make your dollars truly count. I just went off on a tangent again. I
thought that was a good example. I mean, I think too often we think so much it's easy to just go, oh yeah, round up. My big beef in there, and I'll try not to get political about it, is a lot of those big organizations, when you're giving that 25 cents to, the overhead on those big organizations are so big that so little is actually going towards that actual charity. Mm-hmm. There's CEOs of those groups and boards, and they're all paid. Do not let them lie to you. These big organizations, somebody up the chain is getting paid to manage that. And I'm not having beef with that. It takes time. It takes effort. They need to make money. That's not my beef. But what you could be doing is actually putting yourself more towards helping others by, like you said, almost batching your money into a very specific project that you believe in. And again, I think that goes back into some of what we've talked about. You know, what do you want to leave behind? What's your legacy? What's most important to you? What are they going to say about you when your body goes into that ground? Because the only thing that's going to be left here on this earth when you die is the positive impact that you've made. And hopefully you've left it through your kids or through your friends and family or others that you've donated to. But if you got to be focused on that, and even your finances need to be focused on that, because again, that's part of our 5 F's.